Hello class, I wanted to talk to you briefly about the group project assignment. So one of the things that you'll notice on this module is that I included a PDF file called the Communication Style Inventory. It looks something like this. Okay, so the first step in order to do this assignment is to first print this up. After you print it up, you're going to go ahead and fill it out. And it may not make sense at first, but what you want to do is you want to start answering the questions, right? And so they're going to ask you questions, and they're asked in pairs. One of them says, for example, I like action versus I deal with problems in a systematic way. So in each grouping, you're going to pick one of those lines that best describes you. And I know that in any series of questions, neither of the questions may describe you head on, but pick the one that's closest to you. When doing surveys like this, they're going to be most effective when you answer the questions honestly. And what I mean by honest is not based off of how you see yourself, but how you really are. So there are a lot of times we project how we want to be, but a lot of times we'll forget about how we actually respond to things or handle situations. So be honest with yourself, and you're going to answer the questions. So there's 40 pairs of questions, right? And it's also on a second sheet. And you're going to circle one of the two in the pair. So total, you should see 40 circles. Then what you're going to do on the third page of this inventory is kind of scored across, right? So out of questions, for example, so if you can see that, 45 and 46 right here. 45 and 46. All right, I answered 46. So what you want to do on this sheet is go ahead and look for where 46 is at, right? And so find the ones that you circled, right? And you're going to circle them across the different lines. And then you're going to tally the ones up on each line. So I circled number 26, number 33, and number 37, and number 79. So those are the ones I circled, and I got 4 of those on the action line. Then if I go down to the process line, you can see I circled a lot of those. Same with people. And I only circled 5. So it should total 40. All right, hopefully that makes sense. It should total 40. And what you want to do after you've totaled up the different areas is I want you to graph it. And so I graphed mine. And what you'll see, well, let me go back to the first page. What you're going to see is that as far as action style of communication, I scored a 4. The process side, I scored 15. The people side, I scored 16. And the idea side, I scored 5. So that totals 40. So when you're looking at the fact that by looking at this, I can determine that I'm very much a process and a people-orientated person. And so it tells me my characteristics right here under process, what I'm like in a group, personality-wise, and how I operate. Same with people. It talks about what's important to me and my personality types, right? And you're going to score differently because obviously you have a different personality and different ways of seeing the world. Once you've done that, you're going to go over to this sheet and you're going to go ahead and graph it. You'll see that I graphed mine. And what's telling into this graph is based on my personality and small group communication style, I don't score very high on action. And I'm not really an idea person either. But you can see when it comes to process and when it comes to people, I lean heavily in those areas. So that tells you a lot about your personality type. Once you're done with that, and I want to be clear, you want to find somebody else who's a part of your group. And it could be any group. It could be a church group, a music group, an athletic group, any kind of group that you belong to. And what you want to do is you want to look at this, right, and what it tells you about your personality, and then you want to answer the questions. And you want to answer it in comparison to somebody else who belongs to that group. You don't have to give them this survey, but I would just encourage you for the best and most richest results, give them this survey. They might actually enjoy filling it out. And then have them graph where their personality's at, and have them graph, and you graph where your personality's at. And then what you do is in the questions, you contrast the difference. For the best outcomes, 2 things need to happen. Number 1, you need to fill out your survey and be honest. Number 2, give somebody else to survey. It's not required, but I think for the best outcomes, it would be it would be good. And the last thing I would tell you to do is when you pick somebody in one of the groups that you belong to, make sure that you pick somebody with a completely different communication style than you. If they have the exact same communication style as you, then the assignment, it's not going to be as interesting for you to write. But if you pick somebody who has a different style, it could be your father, it could be your supervisor, it could be somebody that you do a hobby with. But when you pick somebody who has a completely different communication style, you're going to see and learn a lot about how your communication style in a group contrasts with theirs, and I think you'll have more stuff to write about it. The assignment will flow a lot better, and I think you'll learn a lot more. So that's kind of how you're going to do this. And then once you've done that, go ahead and answer the questions that are listed and type them up on a Microsoft Word document, and then you're going to upload it to Canvas. So that's a quick rundown of how you do the assignment. If you have any questions on it or need any additional clarification, please feel free to let me know. All right, thank you, and have a great day. Have fun with this assignment. Bye-bye.